Okay, let's do it.
Her Majesty invites into her court Eikaterine Elliniki to answer the question placed before her this morning.
My lords and ladies, comes before you Eikaterine Elliniki, holder of an award of arms, companion of the Order of the Silver Crescent, holder of the Queen's Order of Esteem, from Queen Ethelreda, holder of the Barony of Concordia of the Order of the Pine, Deputy Earl Marshal of Youth Combat. She comes before the Queen to answer the question as to whether or not she will deign to be inducted into the Order of the Pelican.
So today I sent you on vigil. Having a moment. What is your answer?
Your Majesty, before you receive her answer, I have a bit of business to do with her. Would you observe?
Yes, please. Sorry.
I know what your answer is, but you cannot give it until you return that belt of commitment. It has been a pleasure to be your Pelican and your laurel. I will hold this for you until you take someone, and it will become a belt of bronze for any other fool who's interested in being committed to 2 different types of peerage. Now, Your Majesty, you have the option of answering or casting your question.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's try this again. Is it your intention to join this order? Okay. I ask that you sit and hear a few more words of counsel. Is there a laurel that will speak for this candidate?
Your Majesty, yet again, I will respond to you. I, Greedness Shearless, a member of the Order of the Laurel, demand the right. I recommend this woman because she has weaved in more interest in children's care and participation in our game. She has done it with grace and smooth attention-drawing glaze of silk. She has done it with the strength of the strongest wool. She, indeed, is my peer.
Is there a member of the Order of Chivalry that would speak for this candidate?
I claim that privilege and right. I am Sir Cedric of Armorica. I'm here today to speak of Eikaterine, and what about her it is that makes her worthy to be elevated to the Order of the Pelican today. I have had conversations with other members of the Order of the Chivalry over the years regarding how best to convey the worthiness of someone elevated to a non-martial peerage such as the Order of the Pelican. One of the more common fallbacks is to choose one of the chivalric virtues that is deemed most fitting for the person being elevated. I'm using that option today, not because there's anything common about Eikaterine, but because there is no one else I can think who better exemplifies the virtue of largesse. Largesse or generosity as it is sometimes called, can be described as sharing that which is most valuable in life. This does not always mean material objects. In my opinion, the most precious commodity that any of us have, which can never be regained after you have freely given it, is that of time. Eikaterine has been unstinting in giving her time to the youth that are the future of our society and our kingdom. I've known her for some years now, since the days I served as a youth marshal. My respect and admiration for her has only grown as I've seen the compassion and the discipline that she shows in training the youth of our kingdom. Seeing her advance through the ranks of the youth marshalate and then take on the job of Kingdom Marshal for Youth Combat, it's been amazing to see. Since I was asked to take on the mantle of Kingdom Marshal for Armored Combat, we've had the opportunity to work together at several events. At the Penzig War earlier this year, I thought I was putting in a lot of time. I was Rattan 1, I was in charge of everything fighting related for the bigger kids. The small amount of effort I put in pales behind the amount of time that she put in during both Peace Week and War Week to make certain that the youth combatants present at Penzig had every opportunity to participate in their martial discipline. I remember walking with her to attend a vigil for one of our counterparts, the Kingdom Siege Marshal, for his Pelican. On several occasions, while walking barely halfway across the Serengeti, we were stopped multiple times by youth combatants and their parents, specifically to thank her for everything she had been doing them. She knew all of their names and had a kind word for all of them. Your Majesties, your Highnesses, Excellencies, people of the East, the Order of the Pelican is for service. I can think of no one who exemplifies service with more dedication and passion than this woman here before us today. And I am humbled to have the opportunity to speak for her.
Is there a member of the Order of Defense that would speak for this candidate?
Majesty, I claim that right. May I just talk to this?
Please.
I've not known Eikaterine very long. But what I do know is that she's been youth marshal for a very long time. And now she is, for the last several years, she has been Kingdom Youth Marshal. And she was Youth Marshal 1 at Penzig this year. The Masters of Defense are to speak on perseverance. And she has worked for a very long time and has persevered to work and bring up the youth of our community as long as they can, and they become our future. If that's not perseverance, I don't know what is. I recommend her to you.
Is there a companion of the Order of the Rose that would speak for this candidate?
Majesty, Highnesses, Your Excellencies, if I may, I've been given the privilege to speak for this candidate. I am Countess Natavia Bejo-Strupakova, and I get to speak on behalf of Eikaterine's courtesy, which, quite frankly, there's not much for me to say. It won't sound redundant to the people that have spoken before me. They joke that you shouldn't work with kids or animals, but in the East, sometimes you're working with both, especially when it comes to our youth combat. When dealing with the youth of our kingdom, it can be sometimes a little dicey job when dealing with different levels of abilities, parents, and just the emotions and energy behind when you're dealing with kids hitting each other. I have personally seen her deflate arguments and tantrums with a kindness and a hand that is mindful and loving and patient. And this woman has a patience that I could only hope to someday have. She has been a peer for much longer than we have recognized this day, and I am wholeheartedly glad to see her raised today.
Is there a member of the Order of the Pelican that would speak for this candidate? Pelican?
I would be happy to do that. I am Blaine Alexandra Nevern, Night Watcher, member of the Order of the Pelican, and longtime companion of dear Lady Eikaterine. The greatest and fairest sort of wisdom is that concerned with ordering states and virtues, which is temperance and family, with a focus on justice. And this is what I think of when I contemplate the service of Korea, Eikaterine tin Elliniki. Eikaterine is a woman of grace and aptitude whose very name means purity. Here is a person who puts all her energy, vibrance, brilliance into making the youth of the East, of the SCA as a whole, shine. She mentors these children to seek to become fair, noble, well-nurtured souls, so that they in time will in turn carry on her philosophy of patience and equanimity. This is her manner in all aspects of service. Aeneas stated, "No sooner said than done. So acts your person of worth." Eikaterine embodies this in seeing what needs doing, offering to do it, and being done. Each task she turns to, she sees to completion in generosity of her time and talents and in grace of spirit. This woman is my peer.
You look at me. Where are you looking? So after hearing these final words, will you join the Order of the Pelican?
Yes.
They want to hear too.
Her Majesty requests the attendance of the Order of the Pelican.
Is there a medallion for this candidate?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Is there a color for this candidate?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Is there a cloak for this candidate? Is there a veil for this candidate?
There is, Your Majesty.
Is there a hat for this candidate?
Even more.
Oh, very still. Okay. Thank you.
Convertible.
Thanks. Okay,
Don't move.
I was like, what did I do wrong? Okay. Better? Now stay on. Is there a binder?
Your Majesty, there is. From Mistress Albreda Elise, a binder of waiver maintenance.
I would have your fealty. Hands up here. Yep. That's it. Say pretty words. I, Margarita, Queen of the East, hear your words and the love in which you give them. I promise you and yours my protection. I promise to heed your counsel in both times of war and peace, for as long as the crown is on my head.
Watch now the children. Watch as they learn arms. Learn to use shield and spear for the glory of the East. Watch joy in the watcher. She who teaches sword holds hands on hilts, tiny army of the East. Know that she watches, lifts up the children, helps to find honor in the service of the East. Queen Margarita watches and sees one who serves, sees one who guides for the love of the East. Birds on branches watch, see one of their own. Ask Eikaterine, be known as a peer of the East. Crown ends their watching. Raise up the marshal at Yule beyond the mountain, a pelican of the East. Eikaterine Elliniki, rise, arms bearer, teacher, be made pelican. Margarita, Queen of the East. Scroll by Vittorio Antonello, words by Cecilia Butler.
Please greet your order.
For Eikaterine, newest companion of the Order of the Pelican.
Vivas! Vivas! Vivas!
Here